At the South Texas launch site here. Welcome to the stream. I want to go live not only because it's daytime, but to showcase the fins that I was pointing out last night on the booster here. So this booster, more so than any other booster, I didn't see this on any of the previous boosters. These fins at the bottom here, if we get a close enough shot, you'll be able to see light through these, each one of these sections here. It appears almost to be like an inch or on the screen here. Maybe, I don't know how big your screen is, but it looks like different segments here on the what used to be a one single fin there. And it looks like we could see a little light through one of them. Let me zoom in. Hey Carl, good morning. So you can begin to see a little light passing through that that area right there, and at each one of those segments, if we were up higher, we would maybe be able to see it. It's, I think, a light all the way through that entire horizontal passageway through the fin there. So all these fins are little segments. It's not a one continuous fin. So I wanted to at least point this out today. As it gets sunnier out, and the reason why I say this is I got a really good shot when the booster was coming down the road from a couple days ago when they brought it down, and with the Nikon camera, there's a good shot. I might put a link to it in the description here. I will make that shot available for other people to see, but look at some of the other photographers' stuff. I haven't seen any, I haven't looked at any, but look for people who have pictures of these fins and see if you can see all the way through these fins. And that would, the benefit of making the fins that way, it would be just like little ailerons. I don't know if they have the ability to move these fins at the bottom. See, at the top they have the grid fins, but at the bottom they just have these almost like rudders all around the base of the booster there. And theoretically, if they had some actuators on those, they could move those left and right and kind of steer the booster a little bit more. Yeah, I wonder what that's for. Hey, Alan, good morning. Alan Zidek, Jimmy Rios, good morning, and Carl Kringle. Yep, good stuff. Carl says, I wonder if that's to compensate for the shrinkage when a cryo is loaded. And that's an interesting concept there. Interesting, just like concrete, huh? You leave some spaces for when the expansion happens and the contraction. So maybe something similar. Since it's low on the booster, it's got such a dramatic change in temperature due to the cryo as well as the heat, huh? That's what you're thinking? Wow. It'd be interesting to get some more feedback from some people at SpaceX or somebody else. See why they might have done that. Just some official kind of thing. Wow. So I'll take another look at the booster. Yeah, okay. If we were up, yeah, that's awesome. So we're seeing 3 of them here. There's probably another 1 or 2 on the other side too. Probably another, at least 1 of these on the other side. So maybe 4 altogether. Very interesting. Wow. Yeah, there are some types of metal that when they heat up, they turn in a certain direction, right? I don't know if these things are straight vertically up and down, but if they're at some type of if they were skewed off the vertical, then they could rotate the booster by default. If these fins weren't vertical on the booster, then it would rotate as it goes up into the atmosphere. Yeah. Interesting. If they were static but not vertical, kind of like. Yeah, that's all I got. I just want to make sure I got some shots during the daytime. And check in with, see if you guys got any info as well. We go down the tower here, check out the chopsticks. We were looking at this last night as well. Let's see, yeah, that rope is still there connecting the two sides of the chopsticks together as well. Maybe it's like a safety line or something like that between the bottom front of those chopsticks. Yeah, it's warmer here right now, Ben. I had a good breakfast with some papaya that I got last night and some other things. Excuse me. Wasn't expecting that question. As far as people here on site, there's not a lot of activity again, so maybe it's just reduced so far. But I'll check in again probably tonight and see if there's any more activity. If we have a road closure tomorrow, then maybe they'll get more active tonight. Maybe there'll be some trucks coming in. I don't see any grinding. I haven't seen any major work today, this morning. I've been here all morning. Let me see. Since midnight of last night, I've been here. I stayed here last night. Let's see. Let's see. So looks like maybe a water truck's here. Hey Ken, morning. And these blue things here, yeah, good morning. Good morning, Rocky. No kid, seen you here before, good stuff. These blue things are what we were speculating last week about maybe the red E-brick they have on the west of the Starship. Maybe that's, this is some extra power that they don't, these are probably rentals that they have here. For these rental trailers for power and HVAC. So maybe when they get the red E-brick put in, maybe to the west or somewhere else here at the launch site, they'll be able to finish whatever electrical work that they're doing, and maybe they won't need these trailers, or maybe they'll keep them as a backup into the future. But I believe these are rented, so maybe they won't need these. There was a big grating that came in last night as well. I don't know where it went, but something like that came in when I was leaving. I think last night, if not last night, then earlier in the day. There was a big grating that came in. It's not for this, but it went somewhere else here at the launch site. I haven't looked around too much. Oh, it says 10 a.m. It says 10 p.m. Oh yeah, I've been here in the morning and night. That's good stuff. I don't know what the title here says, but I'll fix it later. Okay. Otherwise, you're just mentioning that I was also here last night. Yes, I was here last night as well. It's not as windy today as it has been in the last 2 days, so that's a good sign. It's not raining either. Pretty moderate conditions right now, and it's warmer as well. So. We got some green lights on the orbital tank farm area. There's a green light over there. Some red lights down here, but the tower has green lights. So. I put out a call yesterday to look for some people to run some fireworks stands with me, and I got 3 people, so I took that notification off the community chat area. So I may be looking for 1 or 2 more people as a backup, but I've got the people that I was looking forward to get. Carl says each of those generators burns 1,250 gallons of diesel in 8.5 hours. Rather expensive to operate. Wow. Okay, 1,250 gallons of diesel. Wow, every 8 hours, 8.5 hours. I gotta see how much money that costs. How does that translate into money, Carl? Or if someone else wants to do that calculation, 1,250 gallons of diesel, 8.5 hours, every 8.5 hours. So in a day, they go through about 3,700 at least gallons of diesel. 3,700 times how much per gallon? Good stuff, good stuff. Good comments here. I'm going to check it out. It's going to be at least probably $3, right? Diesel is about the same as gasoline, maybe a little bit more expensive. So I don't know what diesel is. I don't have a diesel vehicle, but I think it's probably around $4. So 4 times at least 3,000 gallons. 198 euros in Ireland. 450 a gallon. Okay, 5,625 each. Let me see. So we had 3,700 gallons in a day times 4.5. So let's say $4 a gallon and 4,000 gallons. So $16,000 at least every day they spend on those generators just to keep whatever they're going working. Right? If we make it $4 and we make it 4,000 gallons per day, about $16,000 at least just to run those 4 diesel generators. Says that's pretty awesome. I wonder, I haven't seen any of those diesel. I haven't seen them bring in any diesel. I'm wondering how or when does that happen? Have any of you seen those diesel trucks come in and refuel these generators? Where are they getting that from? Is this a red thing? I thought this thing was a water refueler. I guess I can move the camera and see if that's connected to anything over there, to maybe some of those blue things. There's a gentleman up there. Let me get the shot. There is somebody looking at, let me see. It looks like on top of the helium container, there's someone up there. Hey, DeKeenan. Nice. Good morning. I guess I can walk over there and see if we can find out anything more. Let me zoom out. We'll get the shot. Since we're talking numbers, see if we can find out where they're refueling these generators. You know, in the back of the building, there's a black container, which I thought was maybe septic, that I got in a video a few days ago, that I put together one of those photo videos. And the guy was moving a bunch of, at the very end of a video a couple days ago, a lot of connections behind this power generation center, this building back there. There's a black, almost looked like a water container or septic kind of thing, above ground septic system. And I thought he was just doing some septic stuff, so I didn't say anything about it, but I did put it in the video. And maybe that's for the diesel, possibly. So I'll stop here in a minute. Let me just get a good shot of a few different things. We'll start here and I'll get some other shots too. Let's see what we got here. All right, so this red thing on the right, I believe that's bringing in water, but the water is, I think this tank over here is water, is what I was remembering. They turned 2 of these, I believe, into water or something like that. Let me see. Anyway, I'll do it. This is liquid oxygen. The one behind it is liquid oxygen. The one behind that and to the right is liquid oxygen. So we got 3 locks. Got 2 nitrogen tanks here. These are nitrogens. And then this, I believe, is the water. And the one behind it is not water anymore. I thought there was maybe 2 waters, but this one on the right, let me see here. Yeah, okay. The one behind this one here was the original water one, but that's not water anymore. But this one here was, and the one behind it were methane, and these 2 are water, I believe. So these 2 are the waters. If this red thing is a water tanker, why is it parked over here and not like further here on the right? So yeah, I've had a question about what these red tankers were in the past. Yeah, the N2 are both water. These 2 back here are water. Yep. Michael says, Zemrowski, any fuel is usually piped in. Hey, DeKeenan, have they blown the rocket up yet? Let's get the shot. Oh, no, they didn't blow it up yet. It's still over there, DeKeenan. So I don't know if there's any continuous piping from anywhere to here. You think maybe this is the original water hookup point? That makes sense. Yeah, Videocast. Hey, Tony. So when it's nighttime and there's not a lot to see, I think Vodcast or Videocast, it's like a podcast with some video, with some images. So a Videocast or a Vodcast or video podcast, it's kind of the same stuff. That's Underqual. That's a nice statement that you said. Maybe that's the original water hookup. Yeah. Okay. So any fuel is usually piped in. I know they have this white area that's the methane area, and there may be some piping. There was speculated there was maybe some piping from the orbital methane tank farm to the suborbital tank farm over there. Maybe some connections, right? But I don't believe there's any connection from the launch site with fuel to any other location. I don't think they're piping in fuel from anywhere else. Carl says no fuel pipes at this time. Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, I like it too. It's a good. So the World Cup final. That's pretty interesting. They're trying to get Twitter up there more and more. So we got the first tanker of the day coming in here. See what this is. Well, we're trying to find out where the refueling for the generators. So this is an oxygen, liquid oxygen coming in. I see I actually, yeah. So the liquid oxygen coming in. I just found the tanker for the. Let me get a much better shot. But the refueling for these blue things. I just saw this truck here, and it looks like a fuel truck. So I'll get a little better shot as best as I can, and see if we can see what kind of thing that is. Petrol. All right. Portable water. No, that's water. I thought we had the solution there, but let me park this tripod here. Yeah, it's just water coming in. So they got some water over here as well. All right. So we got these 2,000 kilowatt generators. These are rentals. Maybe they have the fuel inside, but again, we're talking 4,000 gallons of fuel. Wait, okay. I think it was, let me go back in the chat. Each of those generators burns 1,250 gallons of diesel in 8.5 hours. So 8.5 hours times 3 would be about 4,700, but I made a mistake there. There are 4 of these generators here. But maybe they only run them. Maybe they only run them when they're doing like a static fire or some other type of thing. So it'd be 4,700 times 4. So that would be, I think we came out to about $16,000 per day. So if they ran one of these for a day, it would be $16,000. If they have 4 of these and they run them for a day, that would be about $64,000. Let me see, about $64,000. Just to run these 4 generators for a day. So yeah, since nothing's happening here, maybe they're not bringing any refueling trucks. Might have to look another day to see if we can find out where the fuel for these generators is getting brought in, you know. But something to keep an eye out for. Something to keep an eye out for. $64,000. The $64,000 question. I will get another shot here of the thing behind this area here. Behind this building, there's what I thought was maybe a septic building, and I'll get it on. I haven't gotten it on a live stream yet, but I did put it on another video a little while back, and I'll get it just to have it on camera to bring out the group speculation and knowledge for the future. You can see it there, but I'm gonna put the camera down. Gotta get a little bit away from SpaceX here. I don't want to be too close. So this area back there, I don't know if that's septic or water treatment or what, but this black thing over here, the water, I'm not sure if the water perks around here, so I don't know if they have any in-ground septic systems, but there was a gentleman back there a few days ago plugging in a bunch of different pipes and hoses together. So I was speculating that was maybe some water septic, just have, you know, above ground system. Maybe for this building here on the right, they have a bunch of porta potties, so I don't even know if they use any, if they have a septic system, you know, here. They do have a lot of porta potties, but what could this be used for? If would that ever be like a diesel storage thing? That's the only container I see around here. Here are those blue trailers. You got the 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Portaloo, as we call them, says Dickinson in the UK. Okay, Carl said, getting rid of those will pay off the new electrical transmission service in no time. Pay off the new electrical transmission service. Yeah, I guess not having to run those and then just paying a electrical service, you know, per kilowatt hour, it would save a lot of money. Yeah. Yeah, it did look like a fuel truck at first, right? Mm-hmm. Thanks, Carl. I'll get this shot once more and then move on. Sounds like they're grinding on something in the back. They're still building that berm in the back there. So the wall that they're building is behind the whole tank farm here, and it starts over here. You can check out the berm video, but I can hear some grinding. I'll unplug the mic here and you'll be able to hear that. So there are people working back there, grinding on rebar and stuff like that right now. Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, and Happy Hanukkah. Also, just happy another day alive on the Earth. That's a good point there too. Unless you're on another planet, watching from another planet or another time. All right, so that's that. Maybe get a different shot here. I'm going to show the looking west. This is looking west. You see there's a lot of empty parking spaces here. And I got the crane just stationary right there. I'm going to show a little bit of an optical illusion. I won't tell you what it is beforehand, but I'll just zoom in a little bit. I might be running a fireworks shop on Christmas. I think that's what I'm going to be doing. For the first time ever. When I saw this, I'll just zoom in a little bit more and let your mind process what we're seeing here. Thanks to Keenan. I saw this out of the corner of my eye, and then I looked a little bit closer, but right over here, it looked almost like a person up there. Freestanding. Okay, Carl said that black thing looks like a fiberglass tank, so probably not for fuel. Missing Tools asked if I've seen or if you've seen where the portable PA stack went. Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't seen it for a while, and I haven't noticed that it was gone either. So good question. I'll keep my eyes open now that you mentioned it. Missing Tools, good stuff. Let's see if we can find it here. All right, I'll get the, we'll go back toward the main gate and then look around from there. Here we go. It's gonna be a couple minutes. I guess they'll do a 360 here too, just so you get a picture of everything. Don't want to leave anything out. So we got the SpaceX launch site. Go to the right, and we'll go to the left. Go to the left. See if I go close enough so the camera can keep focusing. So we're looking, this is south, Mexico is that way, the Rio Grande, and Mexico about 2 miles that way. We're going to look southeast, and east is the Gulf of Mexico, and if we're going to keep going that way, we'd hit Florida. Maybe a couple oil rigs before then. All right, I want to go back. Southeast, I believe if we go southeast, we would hit the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. So we got Mexico over there. We got Florida in that direction. I mean, I miss Cuba and everything else, all the whole Caribbean. Let's see, we go up this way, looking northeast, maybe we would hit New York in that direction. Possibly we would, in this direction, we might hit London or the UK, Ireland, everything else over there. You know, I did miss, this southeast would be Africa in that direction. Sorry, everybody. And maybe Europe and Greece would be east, or maybe a little bit north of east would be Europe and everything else. I missed China and all that stuff over there in that direction. Sorry. We got also India in that direction. Now maybe this is more important than I'm giving it credit for. Okay, this is kind of an important moment here. Let me do a little bit better. Sorry, I apologize. If you start singling people out, then I'm going to get in trouble if I don't mention everybody. All right, if we were to continue going in this direction, we would hit Australia eventually. Yeah, and New Zealand would be in that direction too a little bit. We got, I mean, I could mention every country on the planet here. We're looking east of Texas, right? Okay. And so we're going north. Eventually we would hit all the European countries, and we would hit Iceland and Reykjavik and everything over there. We would hit northeast. We eventually, maybe a little bit north of northeast, we would hit Greenland and all the states in the United States. All right. We would hit Canada, old Canada. Everybody in Canada. Sir Chris is up in this direction. I apologize for the scenery here. Canada is in that direction. South Padre Island is also in this direction. This is kind of a little bit north. We're looking north here. We'd eventually hit the North Pole if you're up there at one of those science research centers. And if we went past the North Pole, we'd eventually hit the other side of the planet and we'd eventually make it to the South Pole by going north. So we would definitely hit, let's see. So we're looking about northwest right now. And so this is, we would eventually hit Portland, Oregon, and Vancouver, and Western Canada. There's a little town in Canada called Kelowna. I went over there one time. This is the direction we would have to go to hit Kelowna. Kelowna? Gary. And let's see. Okay, so we Oklahoma, maybe Idaho, Ohio would be a little bit northeast, Illinois, Chicago. Okay, I keep going. So we would every state in the United States. We would hit every country in the northern hemisphere, every country in the southern hemisphere. I did hit Europe. Yeah, I'd come over to Europe. That'd be fun to Kenan. I've been there a few times, Holland. So let me see. We're pointing northwest of Boca Chica. Let me see. We would hit California for sure. Washington. I already mentioned that a little bit. Let's see. Hawaii, it would be, so we're looking west-ish. Hawaii from Boca Chica would be maybe a little bit south of west. Yeah, somebody asked me that yesterday, Kenan. Any countries that interest me? Yeah, places. Yeah. New Mexico over there, Germany, you know. So every country on the planet, I apologize if I miss your country, the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Spain, España, Brazil, it'd be to the southeast. Well, no, it'd be to the south, pretty much to the south. All right, so we've hit every country on the planet. Right, here we go. Gary, that's right. Maybe in the future I'll get some little symbols and I can put them up in front of the camera to represent the different countries. That's a good idea. Maybe for like a kid's thing on for Christmas or something. Little geography lesson. So yeah, different countries. Yeah, I was chatting with somebody yesterday named Daniel Vigili, who's also a YouTuber, and some of the places that I'm interested in are Thailand. I've been through there very quickly, but they have a lot of durian fruit. So I like mostly a vegetarian, mostly. So if I had the opportunity to eat a lot more fruits like durian, that would be pretty good stuff. You can get some durian ice cream too if you're into tasty stuff. What else? Lots of places. I mean, if I had the time and the money to, and the interest, different interests to go visit different places, I would. When I was younger, through about the age of my mid-20s, possibly even later, I don't really remember how much I traveled, but I traveled so much that it was unusual for me to be in one place for more than a year. So it's been an accomplishment for me since my younger days not to travel, because I've been to over 50 countries, maybe closer to 100 countries, and I'm 46 years old and everything, but so it was a great accomplishment when I did finally buy property, land in Virginia, even though I did leave a few times while I lived there for a year or more, to stay there for quite a bit of time, around 20 something years. But into my mid to late 20s, I traveled a lot. You know, I almost went to, I was on a trip with a bunch of people and I almost went to Fiji, or Tahiti, I'm not sure what it was, Fiji or Tahiti, but I went to Australia, I went to New Zealand. I went to New Zealand a couple times, and I almost went on a trip with a bunch of people to visit Fiji, but I changed my plans and I didn't get there, so I don't know if it's worth seeing, but maybe. Some of the Samoan islands might be fun to visit. There is a space-related, there is a place in the Pacific Ocean amongst all those atolls, where the kind of the military astronaut program works out of. Some of those atolls in the South Pacific, I believe it's in the South Pacific, otherwise it's in the Northern Pacific. That's where the astronauts for the Defense Department, that's where those launches happen out of. So that might be fun to hop around on that island or island chain over there and take some video and possibly get in trouble taking some video, but that would be worth doing. It'd be a lot of fun. There's a lot of projects going on in the ocean too, with underwater, even luxury submarines, Triton submarines and some other Neptune. There's different submarine companies you can find on LinkedIn, and those are kind of exciting kind of things. Maybe just more undersea travel, you know. There's some private sized submarines coming out too, but you know, I did find a company a few days ago that has an underwater drone, you know, which costs around $40,000. I don't have enough to buy one of those right now, but that would be easy to fund if I really had a purpose for it that could make money or something. But it would definitely be a good what is it called? When you have a mock-up of something you want to do on a larger scale, it'll be a good test. There's something worded where you make something so that you can kind of build off of it in the future. Something first prototype. You can use it as a prototype for a larger, better off-world submarine mission. You know, Cornell apparently has been building, putting together plans for a submarine that would go to some of these ocean moons. So that's not a new concept. They've been working on it. And I did find this morning Oh, so are they mixing out of the bags? Yeah, I'll get a shot of that. Thanks. Good question. Cornell has been working on an ocean moon submarine, I believe, for several years now, maybe 10 or more years. So there are people working on these submarines as well for off-world oceans. I came across a JET, J-E-T. There was a submission to go to both Titan and Enceladus in the 2011-2012 timeframe. So I found that today. I was looking up some more Enceladus stuff, and I came across it, ocean moon stuff. I was watching another video that someone else made as well. Yeah, they're not mixing it. They're putting together some of the rebar for the berm, looks like. I'll get the shot. So there's another team. I was just learning a little bit more about some of the previous missions that they've done to some of these moons. When the Cassini did one of the missions over there to the Titan area, the Huygens probe, I believe the issue was they got like half of the data, but they've already done a mission to the Cassini did a mission to Titan, and that's one of the world's that's one of the moons around Saturn. I was trying to figure out how far what is it called? How far Titan is from Europa, because they did a mission to. They already did the Huygens probe. They did it to Titan already. So the spacecraft had like a data collection as well as I believe an infrared camera or something like that. So they pretty much have already built it was a really streamlined mission, and it only cost around $500–600 million for the two moons. They went to both, well, they were planning to do a mission to both Titan and Enceladus, an orbital kind of thing in the 2011-12 timeframe. It was going to be called the JETS, J-E-T-S or something, JET mission. So it's they already mapped out and planned how to go to both of those moons. So I want to do more research and to see how far it was going to, how they were going to go from one orbit to the other orbit around the two different moons around Saturn, how that one mission was going to get both of those orbits and connect with the team on those two missions. Because that's super exciting that someone already did the legwork on that as well. So there's the Orbilander mission decadal survey that just came out a year or two ago. It's 2022 right now. And then there's this earlier plan to go to that same moon around Enceladus in the 2011-2012 timeframe. That didn't get funded either. But it looks like they're going to go do the Juno mission to Titan as an independent mission rather than to include Europa, rather than to include Enceladus in this next 10 years. They're planning to go to the DART mission. I believe the Dragonfly mission. I don't know. It's one of those two. I forgot. Juno. Some of these names get mixed up. But they are planning to go to Titan, I believe, with the DART mission, D-A-R-T, in 2027 or 6. NASA is. But it looks like they're going to scrap the Enceladus mission. And even if they went ahead with the beginning planning of the Enceladus mission in 2026, it wouldn't get to the surface of Enceladus until 2051 or 2052 at the earliest. So the fact that they don't have money for the Enceladus mission, it's kind of pissing off a lot of people who are working at NASA, but they don't want to get fired, or the people that are working in conjunction with NASA, Desert Research and JPL and everybody else. So they're not expressing their upsetness, but since the Titan mission is such a big, elaborate mission, it's getting all of the funding, and the Enceladus mission is not. It doesn't look like there's going to be any money for it, and with the inflation, it's looking even worse. So they were going to maybe start planning the Enceladus mission in 2026. So it's looking like it's going to get bumped to, or just erased for another 10 or 30 years. 10 to 30 years, and maybe in another 30 years, NASA would get around to 30 years after 2026. So it would be 2056. They would consider going to Enceladus again, maybe. With the current trajectory of the United States funding for space missions in the public sector. So, but there was this plan within NASA in 2011, 2000 timeframe to go to Enceladus with a brief condensed mission with only a couple instruments. And so I'm going to learn more about that, learning about the team, and maybe some of those individuals will want to collaborate on an OCEAN mission. And because I've been reaching out, I've got over 18 of those 80 or so people from the Enceladus Orbital Lander mission already on LinkedIn, friends where we can message and chat. And I'm chatting with maybe 4 people now from different space missions, kind of on a real level. So, and with this new Enceladus team, maybe it's many of the same people on the Orbital Lander mission as from the 2011-2012 timeframe JET mission, but possibly not. So maybe some of those people left NASA when their mission got scrapped back then, and maybe they'd be available to join an OCEAN mission now. So that's, I'm doing some of that legwork, kind of excited. Okay, were there a couple spammers up there? I didn't, let me go up. D-U-R-I-A-N, durian, Gary. Yeah, people either love durian or they hate it. What can I say? All right, here we go. I'm gonna move it again. We'll get a shot from the main gate. Gary, that's funny as okay. Looks like there's some kind of sticker up there too. There's a sticker, maybe right there, a blue sticker, that's square. Anyway, maybe I'll be able to get it with the other camera, see what it says. So we're looking for the speakers. Yeah, the speaker system is missing. It used to be up on top of that higher white tank over there. So they did move it. That's correct. They did move it. You know, some durian is ripe and others is not so good. So maybe you just need to get it fresh from one of those farmers markets in the big island of Hawaii or somewhere else. Maybe in maybe just haven't had the best. Sometimes, you know, when I was a little kid, I didn't like tomatoes. So I like tomatoes now, but and I don't need ketchup anymore. But when I was a kid, I used to put ketchup on French fries and everything. So I like ketchup, but I didn't like tomatoes. So maybe it's something like that. You can see the water here has receded quite a bit. So this was full of water a week or 2 weeks ago. So with the less amount of rain that we're getting here, the water's, this maybe a lot of fresh water in this area, and eventually this will dry up and this will be walkable. You could actually, even though this is restricted area, I have never walked out here, but technically you could walk out there, or this is where the Starship 11 crashed over there, and they were retrieving it out of the field over there with different vehicles and walking out there. So it's not very deep, that water, but it's drying up right now. So. You guys are funny. That's like saying, you know, don't eat lettuce because, you know, there are certain things that if you eat them one after another, it's not going to taste good. So, and if you get like conventional vegetables versus organic vegetables, you're going to be able to taste the chemicals in the conventional vegetables. Conventional means not organic, right? Conventional means they used a bunch of chemicals to help spur on the growth and keep the insects off the vegetables. So if you're eating vegetables with a lot of chemicals in them, then they're maybe not going to be tastier. If they were picked before they were ripe, they're obviously not going to be tasty. So in the same way, maybe you just didn't have the best durian, or whatever, or maybe you had some food before it that made the combination in your stomach and your mouth not pleasant. That would be my my guesstimate. But you know, I'm not right about everything, so it's just my limited perspective. So there's a white box in the center of the screen right there. I believe that's what they brought in last night or yesterday afternoon or morning, whatever. That's that grading type thing that they brought in. Gary says, no, it's nothing like lettuce. Okay. It's much better than lettuce, actually. Depends on the kind of lettuce that you're buying. I don't want to say bad things about lettuce. Let us rejoice. Let us rejoice. Okay, as far as chocolate, right? I had a chocolate company, Carl, so I can say a few things about chocolate. I eat lots of chocolate, says Carl Kringle. Chocolate comes from beans. Beans are a vegetable, so I'm eating healthy, getting my vegetables. Yep, I could say chocolate, as it's in the food industry, chocolate is a combination of sugar, milk, and the bitter beans. So if you don't have milk and sugar, legally you can't really call it chocolate when you have a product that you're selling in a store. So chocolate in a store, at least it used to be in 2007 to 2009 when I had a chocolate company, you couldn't really put chocolate on your label without fearing that you might get in trouble from the food people, the food police. So chocolate, I would say the cacao, C-A-C-A-O, the nut of the fruit, which is a chocolate fruit, the fruit of the chocolate tree is, you don't really get it in the nut. You don't get it in so the seed of the chocolate fruit is the bitter, what we call cacao or chocolate. But chocolate it technically I think only refers to milk and sugar and some of that bitter seed of the fruit. Sorry. But you could cut open one of those chocolate fruits. You can get the seed and dry it out, and then you can crush it up, and you can make stuff out of it. You can melt it and do all kind of stuff. Yep. So you can eat it raw too. So I had a raw chocolate company called Everything Raw, 2007 to 2009, and eventually I did find out after a couple of years that the chocolate that I was selling, the actual the bitter chocolate, had been roasted by the exporter in South America. So even though the farmer sold it raw to the distributor, the farmer sold it to the distributor, and when the farmer sold it, it was raw, but when it was going through the export facility, they were roasting it. So flash pasteurizing or whatever they were doing, irradiating it, they were doing something to it, and it was no longer raw. So although I had a Everything Raw chocolate company for 2 years, the chocolate in the Everything Raw chocolate bars was not raw. When I found that out, I did switch to a seller out of a grower out of Bali. I believe it was. I was buying my chocolate out of Bali, maybe in the second or third, in the late first or second year. I was buying the cacao out of Bali when I found that out. It was a big. It's about this time when they started legalizing, making a requirement to flash pasteurize the almonds, even though almonds previously were raw as well. So when you go to a store and you see raw almonds, they're not raw, but they're flash pasteurized unless you get it from some extreme farmer who takes a lot of care and effort to make sure it doesn't get flash pasteurized or some other killing of the vitality in the food way. Or if you buy it from Spain, it used to be Spain, you could get almonds that were still raw, but that's still sketchy. So I closed down my chocolate business when I found out some of that stuff, and some other stuff happened with somebody else who was a partner with me. All right, so the not much happening right now as it appears on the Starship. It looks like there's maybe a couple white areas where maybe they could put some tiles in the future. They would still have to remove the hooks at the top there. I guess I'll talk some more about this. What we're looking at in the coming week with the Starship. That's a good question. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, so they're not going to do a launch with the Starship right now. It's a great question. Maybe somebody was wondering that. If they did a launch from this pad, it would be suborbital, and they haven't announced any launches. So we're looking at a new wrapping. Carl, good one there. So this Starship 24, and there is a new tarp around the base there. Either that or they straighten out the old one. New wrap. It must be where the Christmas presents are going to be going, right? And maybe with all the wind, they had to get it fixed a little bit. There is a lift under this Starship there, so maybe they are doing some work on some of the Raptor engines down there. So that's a good possibility. Let's see if there are any people down there. There is a blue lift there as well. I'm not sure if there are any people on that lift. There is a blue lift, but we could see if there is. Yeah, there are people up there. So, all right, there are people working on the Starship today. We could see a static fire again this week with the Starship 24, but it's not going to be a launch. If you're kind of wanting a launch, trying to jump it. Yep. I think they have the Starship firmly affixed to the pad B where it's currently situated, suborbital pad, and it wouldn't be able to fly with being connected to the stand there. So maybe they would do a 6-engine static fire next, is what I would imagine. The Guinness says everyone will be watching the soccer, even Elon being at the final. When is the big one of the big matches coming? Is it just today, or is it coming up around this week, Takinan? Gwen is running the show here apparently, so maybe she'll pull a fast one on us and keep moving it forward big time, fast. It's the final now, says Takinan. Good stuff. Yeah, maybe it lost a few tiles to get a shot. I'll check some of the tiles in a minute. With the water that they're bringing in from off-site, I was wondering, since a lot of the water was pooling up in the field out here, maybe they didn't want to pull it from the natural area next to the launch site, but there was a lot of water pulled up here over the last month, and they could have easily put the water through some type of filtering system over here if they were to bring in a filtering system, and they could just gather all the water up that they would have needed for maybe for 4 months, just directly from the field here or from the site here at SpaceX. So that's a thought going forward into the future. Here at OceanCam, I'm interested in water collection, so I was thinking about those things, but they could do something similar here at SpaceX. They could start collecting some of this water when it hits the site. Instead of directing it into the surrounding fields, they could just gather it up and store it for their use here on site. Maybe it's just more money and more thought than they have time for. Maybe just easier and quicker to buy it ready and filtered and clean. But well, Carl says Quinn was on site for the static fire. Where did you hear that, Carl? Or how did you see that? Why do you think that? World Cup finale, 2-2. 2-2, says Takinan. All right, 2-2. One of the things about soccer and sports that you can see in person, besides the possibility of throwing the game, you know, besides the possibility of getting paid off and doing certain things so one side wins or so it's even, yeah, unlike a computer with code that can be accessed from elsewhere, you get to see what the actual reality is. The two teams possibly competing, you know, in reality without any stuff behind the scenes, possibly. But I guess you can still. There's still stuff that happens as far as attacks on the players and stuff like that to decrease their capability and stuff like that. But at least you get to see it on camera a good amount of the time. Okay, Carl says on the Lab Padre weekly update this morning, they show her at the build site the day of the static fire. Wow, that's awesome. So at least I was here as well, so we were both here at the same time. I guess maybe eventually I will see her and have her on camera. Not necessarily in a one-on-one way, but definitely have her in the shot like I've had Elon in the past. Let me move the camera up, give these guys some privacy. I'll check out that shot with Gwen. I'd like to see her on site. You know, when one person sees her, maybe the next person is more likely to see her. So kind of some see what she looks like when she's here at SpaceX, and then I'll be able to recognize her the next time she's here if I'm around. See where she was at. Which building was she at? Where was she seen? Let me move the camera, we'll get a different shot. Here we go. Keep moving. We'll get a shot of the bottom of the tower and then might call it a morning. Take me about 20 seconds to get where I'm going. Okay, let's see. Before I place this down, let me get the shot here. I'm not sure what I'm seeing here. What is that red stuff back there? Is that more that red E-brick? That almost looked like a bunch of that red E-brick there in two piles of three high. That would be the first time I've seen it, if it is red E-brick, inside the launch area. I keep going a little bit further. There we go. Don't want to lose it. Here we go. Ready duct. I got you. Ready duct. All right. This is the shot I had last night where we could see the launch site. We could see the tower and everything, but we couldn't see this area because of this wall here. But they have some kind of fluorescent lighting on the top at nighttime. All right, so they do have some kind of ducting. It's not all being kept on the west side of the launch site. They're actually bringing it into the actual site itself. So have to keep an eye out for where they're putting it. Okay, Carl says Quinn was by the entry gate walking towards the front building. All right, wow. You mean the Starbase or the Starbase building? The front building on the left of the gate as you're looking at the gate from the outside. Yeah, I'll look for that video. Thanks, Carl. Weekly update about Lab Padre. They have Gwynn Shotwell here at SpaceX. Check it out if you're looking for it. I'm going to look for it. For the new electrical transmission lines. Yeah, I wonder, so maybe they're going to route those lines somehow, somewhere, back to the power centers way back there, right? By those, where those blue things are, they have a power building, a big building back there too that they built, right? So if they're going to route that red e-brick all the way back there, the launch platform is over there, right? That's orbital launch platform, and that's where all the fire and heat and everything else is. Wonder where they're going to route that brick to. Maybe I'll have to do another trip or look around the back of the site, go around the outside periphery and see if they're putting down anything, lines in the back there, doing some groundwork. Maybe they're going to bring it all the way around the back and then bring it back to that power shed area on the left, back that way. That's a long way to bring some power lines to power the site, but I don't see any work out front here where they would bring that brick around on our side, on the north side of the launch site. So probably on the south side they would have to. That's pretty interesting. Okay, Carl has the link to the week update for Lab Padre here. You can click on it and check it out to see Gwynn Shotwell. Thanks. I'll check that out later myself too. Thank you. Congrats to Lab Padre for getting that footage done, because that's gonna be a treat to see. I'm looking to I put a link to a video of Gwynn Shotwell yesterday, and I haven't watched the videos, but I did watch a little bit of the first one. But I'm planning to watch that as well. So maybe today, I'm just gonna watch some videos of Gwynn and do some of the other stuff I've talked about. All right, so they're moving one of the cranes over there, the yellow crane there on the left. There's another shot I want to get to. Last night they were doing some grinding on top of that wheel well to the right of wheel well over here. So I'm going to see if I can get that shot before I end the stream this morning. Looks like the booster is still on the stand back there. You can see it's situated on top of that stand. And since we have low wind conditions right now, they're doing more work with aerial lifts. There was really a lot of wind yesterday and the day before, so now that the wind seems to have died down quite a bit, we see some stuff going on there. Maybe if it stays this good for the rest of today, they'll bring more people down and get back to work a little bit. It was also rainy yesterday too. Again, today's date is the 18th of December, Sunday, 2022. It's 11:12 in the morning, 11:12 a.m. There is some type of, or there was, some type of a wire connecting the two sides of the chopsticks together. This dangling cord here, I don't know if that's from what was connected to the side on the right, but so maybe they disconnected that connection to the chopsticks. I don't see any rope connecting the two sides right now, so it looks like maybe that's what they did, disconnected those two sides that were connected. And maybe they're going to be, okay, so Carl says, looks like the crane's going to be pulling forms. So some of those concrete from the berm that they've been putting together over there, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it is in that area. I could move the, let me see, we can kind of see a little bit. The top of the berm is behind the fence a little bit. You can kind of make it out, but that cord is going back there, and there are some people back in that direction. There's still a connection between the two chopsticks. Okay, thanks. Thank you. I was about to say if they did disconnect those two sides, then maybe they would be getting ready to use the chopsticks. But if you said they're still connected, I don't have a good shot of it right now where I could see if there is or isn't a. It doesn't appear to me that there is a connection anymore, but maybe it's hidden. Maybe it's hidden from the bottom rail and out of view, possibly from this angle. This bottom rail here, maybe it's blocking the view of the connections. Oh, you see it? Okay. Well, whenever they disconnect those two sides, there's a possibility that they'll start using it and pick up the booster. There was mention here that maybe they would do the crowd test. I think it was Carl or maybe somebody else. Rate where it is. The pressure and crowd test, rate where it is. So, all right, I'll get the one other shot. I said this was going to be the last shot. All right, they are lifting something there. Let me get that shot. So that looks like it came from the berm area, where it's going to, came from or is going to, but I'm gonna keep moving, maybe some a C channel or something like that. Get the top of the at the base of the tower, there's a yellow thing. I just want to see if I can get the top of that. This is something we saw last night, and then call it a morning. Okay, yeah, there's still a hole up there. Good stuff. Let me get the shot here. Be a kind of a unique shot. You can see at the top of that ceiling there, above the reel, which is used for the tower, there's a hole in the roof up there that they cut out last night. Yeah, I guess it's still exposed. Hey, drones, thanks, man. Thank you. Morning. Yeah, that'll be it. I'll end the stream soon. Raise the trap out a little bit. Thanks for watching again. If you have any questions, reach out to me by email or message. Several ways to chat here with other people as well as myself. There is also a chat group. The Group Me is an app that you can get. Put a link in the community area here, but that's it. Paul Marcos. Hopefully you got some things planned for today. Otherwise, just figure it out as you go. Another day on the earth. Good stuff. Good stuff. Gary says Rocket Lab launch in about 5 hours. Good stuff. Yeah, that's where the drawworks are, Ben. Yes, correct. Interesting. Carl says there's some type of thing that'll, a resistor that absorbs the energy output from the draw works when it lowers. Interesting. Good stuff. Carl, yeah. All right. Good day. Wherever you're watching this from, whenever you're watching it, whatever dimension you're in, whatever mood you're in, keep on keeping on, and hopefully just keep, if you're going through hell, it said that if you're walking through hell, if you find yourself walking through hell, just keep on walking, because that's how you'll get out. Good stuff. It's been a good morning, and good day to you. Shalom.